Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of BB News. And in today's video, I'm looking at more of Pochettino and how he compares to a certain other Chelsea manager that we had not too long ago, who was, I would say, was the main man for where we are today. And this manager may surprise some of you, but stay tuned and listen up. So, today's news, I'm not sure whether it was saving face by Nagelsmann's agent or whether there's some truth in it. Chelsea have refuted it, by the way. But this is what Nagelsmann's agent had to say about the whole situation with the Chelsea job. He said, I can confirm that Chelsea were quick to call for Julian. He was their number one target. I believe it would have happened if he wanted it. This is what he told to a podcast called Fraser Maher. And he went on to say, it was the right decision by Nagelsmann not to go to Chelsea. It's a club in troubled waters currently, and their transfer policy spending a few €100 million has raised expectations that need to be met. It would have happened if he wanted. But he's kind of, what's he saying? It's kind of mixed messages I'm getting here. It's saying to me that if he was offered a job, as I said, Chelsea said he wasn't their number one target. But if he was their number one target, then his agent saying the reason that he didn't go to the job, to take the job, is because he can't handle the pressure. In reading between the lines, because what he's saying is that the expectations would have been high because of all the money that Chelsea had spent. So if he had belief in his own abilities, that shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a stumbling block. So, even as I said, if he's telling the truth, then he's kind of throwing his client under the bus, saying that he wasn't strong enough to take on the Chelsea job. And that goes on to another target that we had. I know a lot of people saw Nagelsmann as an elite manager, and some people saw Luis Enrique also as an elite manager also. But for me, again, I don't think Enrique was the right man for the job neither, because what is required of Chelsea is a totally different type of manager. A manager who's proven that they can rebuild a fractured squad, who can work with younger players, and who haven't got these, ready-made superstars at the club. I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but we saw what Enrique did with Barcelona, because after Pep went, there was a little, there's two managers they had that didn't bring them the success that Pep did. But Nagelsmann came in and he was an immediate success. But then if you look at things and really analyse things, Barcelona, okay, he was a success. There's no argument about that. You could just look at his trophy cabinet, but the players he had at his disposal were still good players. All they needed was a good coach who can move them in the right direction, because they had the world beaters. They had experience in there, because you had Messi was an experienced pro. Neymar was an experienced pro. They just brought in Luis Suarez, and we saw what he did at Liverpool. Iniesta was in his prime. Xavi was in his prime. Busquets was in his prime. So they had excellent players who just needed a different approach, a manager who can steer them back in the right direction. Chelsea have got a young squad. We haven't got a lot of experienced players in our side. Our side's not packed with experience. We've got a young squad who need developing. And as I mentioned in my video yesterday, Pochettino has proved that he can make young players better. Had we, and a lot of people as well, they're going on about the way we used to work under Roman Abramovich, when we used to hire these managers and they had instant success of getting the best out of these players. But when you look at it, the players there, we had Drogba's, we had the Terrys, we had the Lampards, we had lots of experienced players. So when the new managers came in, again, similar to what happened with Enrique with Barcelona, they just probably needed a steer in the right direction, because we saw what happened under AVB when he kind of messed up all the good work of the past of Ancelotti and Mourinho. And we had the manager bounce on the Roberto Di Matteo that brought us the Champions League. Then as the next season, he didn't carry on that good work, and he was never Abramovich's first choice. Then he brought back Jose and Jose Mark II to rebuild the side again. So that kind of worked for a couple of seasons. And we still had some experience in that side, and he brought in some experience as well. But as I said, this job now calls for a different profile of manager. So for me, and I know a lot of people are saying Pochettino hasn't won anything major, apart from obviously in the for PSG, where they're saying it's easy to win at PSG. Probably is. Yeah, so let's humour these people who say that he's not an elite manager and he's not won anything. But the thing is, when I was compared him with Ranieri yesterday, where I said what Ranieri did was build the groundwork for future success. So, for instance, if he gets us into the top four, for argument's sake, he gets us into the top four a couple of seasons, and he gets us challenging for the top trophies. If he doesn't win anything, now let's say he doesn't win anything, then hopefully what he'd have done, he'd have built the groundwork for the next manager to come in. And that may be an Enrique. And Enrique then may be the right man for the job to take on, to take these potentials into winners. But at the moment, he's not the right man for the job. It's a different profile of manager that we need. I hope that makes sense to all of you. I think that Pochettino will win things at Chelsea, but we don't know. But if he doesn't, as I said, then you bring in a proven winner. Jose may come back then when these players are a little bit older, 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years down the line. They've got a bit more experience, and they just need that manager who can push them to that final finishing line. And then you call in those type of managers, because that's what they do. Certain managers are good at certain things. Jose is good at making a team who are sort of already sort of experienced players, or getting into their prime, making them better, making them winners. That's it. That's what he does. For me, that's what Enrique does. And I haven't seen anything else outside of what he's done with Barcelona for me to think differently. And Pochettino, as I said, he's good because we've seen it at Tottenham, what he can do in a similar situation. We've yet to see whether he can win something, but he's got at Chelsea. He's going to have more resources than he did at Tottenham. If he had got in a couple of extra players when he wanted them at Tottenham, then Tottenham may have won a trophy or two. But then again, it's Tottenham, isn't it? So probably not. But with Chelsea, getting in the right profile, and if we can support the managers, the sort of hierarchy are going to back him in the transfer market if he needs a backing, and they see the progress that is being made, and he will get success. I think he will win trophies. But as I said, if he doesn't win trophies, he's going to set us up. He's going to set up that foundation for us to go on and be a good team. So if he doesn't, then you can come at me, but I'm confident that he will do that. And I know a lot of people are the first sign of failure. They're going to be on his back, just like they were with Potter. But I always give our managers time until it becomes untenable, and it's the same with for me with Pochettino. I'm going to back him all the way, and so that's it. So I can't change people's opinions. A lot of people still pining for Tuchel, and they'll never accept anyone else. Some people want a Mourinho back, so they wouldn't accept an alternative. Some people wanted Enrique or Nagelsmann, so they're going to always find something to criticise Pochettino about. I didn't care. If I trusted the football directors to make the right decisions. No matter what people say about this football directors and everything else, they're more qualified than me, they're more qualified than you to make the decisions. They can see everything. We just see snippets of things. We don't know the ins and outs of what's going on. So I'm going to trust them to make the right decision. If they don't, then I'll come at them and criticise where I see it necessary. But at the moment, there's nothing to criticise because he's starting with a clean slate. If he comes in and he makes the wrong calls and he does things wrong, of course I'm going to call him out at times. But my when I call someone out, as I always do, it's just going to be based on the results, not based on any sort of agenda or anything else. I'll just be looking at what he does in his job and judging him on that. And that's what I always do. Okay, guys, stick your comments in the section below and I'll see you guys on the next video. So take care. Bye-bye.